Oh, so we're banking on a misstep, pretty much.
Correct.
So if a company gives me these 3 disclosures and I sign them that says, if you don't pay, I will reflect this on your credit report, right? If I sign that, then there's nothing you can do about that.
That's not necessarily all the way true. The other part is Congress also gives you, the consumer, the right to opt out of having your information reported.
But even after you sign the...
Say prove it.
Prove it.
I'm glad you asked, Dave.
Shouts out to you running this interview. This is good.
So 15 USC 6802. What I'm giving y'all is I only tell people this in my university. This is how I get mortgages deleted, auto loans deleted, and student loans deleted.
Mortgages deleted? It just sounds...
All right. Remember, Dave, when you delete it from the consumer report...
Okay, so what you're saying is not deleted in terms of my obligation to pay.
Exactly.
We're just deleted into the report.
We're taking it off the report.
This makes sense. This makes sense. Yeah, this makes sense.
My team, if you're watching this, do not be upset with me.
So we're not saying that we don't owe the money.
We're not saying that. I will never tell anyone to lie. What we're using is straight laws to get any account deleted. Straight laws. My team's gonna be upset, Dave. I like it.
So I was just talking to my boy, and remember yesterday's conversation, we using any names, where you were saying that there was a person and a company that split ways, but the person, they agreed that they wouldn't talk bad about the person why they split ways, right? And now one of the people are going to sue this other person because the one ex-employer told another potential employer that it was a bad situation. So what's happening here in relation to what you're saying is, like, we have a contract that says you can't say this about me. You can't report this to anyone else, right? And this is like the same with the consumer law. The company can't just put it on there without my
written permission.
Written permission.
It's called permissible purpose. 15 USC 1681B2.
You study this stuff.
Oh, I live this every day.
Golly.
So my team, do not be upset. I'm going to share some top secret information. All right. So the first thing, to your point, Dave, I want to let you comprehend privacy and the obligations institutions have to consumers. See, we think that these institutions don't have an obligation to the consumer, but they have a big responsibility and an ongoing obligation to protect the consumer's personal, non-public information. But people don't know this.
I like it.
So
I like it.
We're going to start with 15 USC 6801, right? And when you go there, the title is Protection of Non-Public Personal Information. Now, why would Congress say that? Protection of non-public personal information.
Non-public personal information.
Correct.
Okay.
It is the policy of the Congress that each financial institution has an affirmative and continuing obligation to respect the privacy of its customers and to protect the security and confidentiality of those customers' non-public personal information. Now, isn't that an oxymoron? Because we believe all these companies should report or can report whatever they want. And the law here specifically says they need to have policies in place and they have an ongoing obligation to protect your private information.
Shouts out to the government. I like
okay, but let me show you now how we get these accounts deleted. So when we go to 15 USC 6802, it's going to bring us to obligations with respect to disclosures of personal information. Well, what do you know?
I need to see the obligations with respect.
Correct.
Okay.
So before they just told us that they have an ongoing obligation to protect the information, right?
Yes.
And now Congress is saying obligations with respect to disclosures of personal information. So now if they are going to give out the information, well, the consumer must be told about this. So here's what Congress says. 15 USC 6802A, right? Notice requirements, except as otherwise provided in this subchapter, a financial institution may not directly or through any affiliate disclose to a non-affiliated third party any non-public personal information unless such financial institution provides or has provided to the consumer a notice that complies with section 6803. So let me break this down. No financial institution, no bank, no firm, no car dealership, none of them, right? No student loan company, none of them are supposed to disclose any of your information with a non-affiliated third party. So let me explain what an affiliated party is and what a non-affiliated third party is. So SunTrust and Lightstream and Truist Bank, they are affiliated by common interest ownership, right? They can share the information all day.
Gotcha. So they're all one company?
Correct.
Okay.
Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, LexisNexis, SageStream, ARS, consumer reporting agencies. These are non-affiliated because Truist or SunTrust or Lightstream doesn't own any of the consumer reporting agencies.
Gotcha.
They are non-affiliated. So if they're going to share your non-public personal information now with a non-affiliated party, the consumer must be told about this, right? So what Congress says now is opt out. Well, it sounds to me like Congress says, well, Daraine, you can opt out if you want.
Which means you can automatically be opted in.
Correct.
Got it.
But if you don't opt out, you stay opt in. So they continue to report it. Because we don't exercise our right, Dave, that's why there's accounts on the consumer reports.
So I thought the whole strategy, I'm not gonna lie to you, in the credit repair repair world, I thought the whole play was sending mad letters.
Well, that's a part of it. But you have to know what to send. The reason why 95% of credit repair business owners and consumers that are doing it themselves, and there's nothing wrong with doing it yourself, they don't know how to speak the language that Congress put in place to keep these corporations in check. They're sending out information saying, oh, this wasn't me, this belonged to my dad. Like, they're not using their language.
Give me an example of some language.
Perfect. So
I do feel like you're controlling this conversation. Though. This is really good, though.
A financial institution may not disclose non-public personal information to a non-affiliated third party unless, this is one part of the language, such financial institution clearly and conspicuously discloses to the consumer in writing or in electronic form or other form permitted by the regulation prescribed under section 6804 of this title that such information may be disclosed to such third
King
party.
James Version, bro.
When you got your student loans, did they tell you that, hey, Dave, we might report this to the consumer reporting agencies?
I don't know. I didn't read it.
All right.
I went to I agree.
You're supposed to get this in bold letters. It's not supposed to be hidden. It's a disclosure. They're supposed to tell you this. All right. Let me ask you something else. The consumer is given the opportunity before the time that such information is initially disclosed to direct that such information not be disclosed to such third party. Did they say, Dave, we're going to report your information, but if you decide not to have us report it, let us know?
They didn't say that.
They didn't say that. Here's the third part. The consumer is given an explanation of how the consumer can exercise that non-disclosure option. Did they say, Dave, if you decide not to, here is how, or here's what you do so we don't report this information? That's the whole point. Nobody ever gets all three. It's not one, you're supposed to get three. And if you don't get these mortgages, student loans, auto loans, Doesn't matter what it is. If you do not get these disclosures, you can opt out, because them not giving you these disclosures is a direct violation of the law. And this is how we got like 45 student loans deleted last week.